Imagine this. The ground beneath your feet isn't truly yours. The roads you drive, the power that lights your home, the care that keeps you healthy, none of it under your command. Prices for shelter, fuel, medicine, and loans are dictated from above, yet every paycheck demands tribute. Not to some ancient noble in a tower, but to an invisible network that gates entry before you even start. This begs a tough query. When does a cutting-edge economy slip back into the shadows of serfdom? Welcome to Economic Ecos, where finance, influence, and the past intersect in unexpected ways. Revealing truths that aren't always straightforward, and folks think of feudalism. Images of knights in shining armor, fortified strongholds, monarchs and farmers bound to the earth come to mind. It seems archaic, barbaric, a relic discarded by enlightenment and innovation. But strip away the pageantry. Feudalism boiled down to dominance over key resources. In old Europe, soil was king. It provided sustenance, refuge, security, existence. Hold the land, and you held the reins of fate. Without it, choices dwindled, no matter your toil. Those at the bottom weren't destitute from idleness. They were hemmed in by lacking what counted. So packs formed, steady but skewed. Work for entry, allegiance for safeguard, tribute for endurance. This wasn't disorder. It was a rigid framework. Everyone slotted in. Ascent was uncommon. Riches pooled at the top. Predictability trumped liberty. That's the nuance often glossed over in today's tales. Feudalism didn't fade due to inefficiency alone. It fractured when a force eclipsed terrain, the rise of wealth in motion. The industrial era shattered land's grip on livelihood. Mills supplanted farms. Urban hubs overtook estates. Salaries displaced duties. Suddenly, earnings flowed without possessing the foundation. This heralded the modern market's vow. Skills over acres. Effort over birthright. Employment over endorsement. Property retained value, but income pathways opened wider. This shift birthed rarities, a swelling middle tier with climbing pay, broadening holdings, real ladders to climb. Dwellings turned achievable. Reserves built futures. Workers gained bargaining power. Its advances in output, though uneven, lifted standards tangibly. Societies internalized this as the norm, a lasting triumph. Yet, it was a fleeting anomaly, not an eternal state. As land supremacy waned, command over assets merely morphed. Plants evolved into conglomerates, estates into securities, networks into ledgers. Subtly, possession pooled on not via battles, but bargains. No fanfare, no edicts, no antagonists, just market pools. By the tail of the 1900s, dynamics pivoted. Funds flowed freely, holdings outpaced earnings. Money games overshadowed making things. Essentials like homes, learning, wellness, utilities tied more to perpetual fees than outright claim. Ancient bonds resurfaced, rebranded, not oaths, but borrowing. Now bondage, but ongoing dues. Not estate rights, but endless leases. Terminology gentled. The skeleton endured. If awards existed for fiscal sugarcoating, contemporary setups would dominate. What supplanted feudal ties wasn't pure autonomy, was provisional entry. Preside wherever if the bill clears. Roam at will, credit permitting. Engage fully, solvency intact. Unlike yesteryear's tillers, today's players are pitched this as liberation. Options mimic independence, even as paths narrow. Here's the rub. Feudalism hinged on reliance sans possession. Castles optional. It just ensure life's necessities belong elsewhere. The old vassal leaned on unnowned turf. Today's earner relies on unowned abodes, grids, apps, and money streams. Tools vary. Principle persists. Like its predecessor, this setup thrives. Sans malice just needs buy-in. Revolts were rare not from fairness, but slim options. Modern entrapment stems not from statutes, but stickers. Power tilts, entry turns gated. Not mandated, but molded by gradual shifts. To grasp if this endures or evolves, trace its path. It didn't burst forth. It crept as holdings centralized. Burdens cascaded down, and constancy edged out advancement. Spot that trend, and echoes ring clear. Serfdom didn't vanish, camouflaged. As command over assets tightened, no heralds proclaimed a hierarchy's revival. Unnecessary such orders resurface via costs. The pace quickened when finance flipped from aiding production to reshaping it. With fluid capital, valuables trumped output. Dwellings morphed from havens to vaults. Grids from communal musts to profit pools. Schooling from groundwork to financed bets, amortized lifelong. Each pivot distanced users from ownership. In feudal times, fortune flowed from land mastery. In this monetized age, it stems from assets outrunning work, core unchanged. Vehicles updated asset holders gain edge effortlessly. Wage-dependent lag, despite flawless execution. Output climbs, but proprietors pocket premiums. Labor stays fluid. Living escalates. No need to penalize diligence. The setup favors holding inherently. Borrowing bridges, voids not as flaw, but fixture. When pay trails, valuations, loans link earnings to basics. Home loans echo land packs. Education debts mimic training bonds. Everyday borrowing supplants hoards. Each time marketed as a cent, each installment is headway. But loans slyly bind tomorrow's work to yesterday's rates. Ancient laborers pledged effort to alien soil. Current ones commit to prior packs. Lexicon differs, pull identical. This explains waning agility, not barred by law, but boxed by bucks. Switch locales, roles, selves, but reboot fees soar annually. Skip-a-doo, and gates clang shut, underscoring controllers. Some pushback. This analogy overreaches. Today's world dwarfs feudal rigidity. Departures voluntary. Prospects abound. Valid on paper. Neo-feudalism skips shackles for subtle ties. Old bonds tied survival to plots, new ones permit exit, but it accesses forfeit. To roofs, funds, healing, steadiness. To not force its acclamation. The machine hums as it blends into routine. Folks tweak spending over rent hikes, pursue yields over value swells, self-critique over holding hoards. Modern orders, brilliance, no commands. Enticements suffice. When turbulence strikes, price surges, market pops, downturns, the response mirrors blueprint, shield holdings foremost. Ascends, hits diffuse. Equilibrium reboots briefly by bolstering origins of skew. If consistency competed, this wins gold, not critique fact. Viewing thus, current fiscal fret clarifies. Unease isn't folly, it's tilted odds. Folks produce yet perch precariously. Hired yet vulnerable. Unfettered yet reliant. Instinct tells, diligence secures less. Safety demands unreachable stakes. Not personal shortfall, systemic skew. Serfdom crumbled not from outcry, but when rivals spread shares, making ties obsolete. The sting, if holdings keep clustering, reliance reboots, sands push via tallies. To fairness, irrelevant to mechanics, they chase rewards. Core query. Can communities thrive with eternal play sands lasting share? Bearing downs, sands ups. Leasing peace over forging it. Steadiness sands progress, breeds standstill. And historically, standstill spells peril for orders. This isn't doomsaying, it's insight. Decoding this neo-serfdom fosters vision. Liberty isn't all or nothing. It's graded by stakes, sway, gateways. Proximity to assets builds toughness, not from wit, but wiring. History loops, authority reshuffles, never fades. Economies adapt, lugging ancient bones into fresh skins. Feudal echoes didn't halt with ramparts' ruin. They paused as shares spread, resuming as they shrank. Eras shift. Gears grind on.